All right, good evening, everyone. I'm going to call this meeting to order, and we will start with the roll call.
Trustee Manhattan.
Aye.
Trustee Chow.
Present.
Trustee Lu.
Aye, present.
Trustee Vogel is absent. Trustee Leon.
Here. Thanks, Erin. First item of business is board agenda approval. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thanks, Jerry. And a second? Second. Thanks, Ava. We will call for a roll call.
Trustee Manhattan.
Aye.
Trustee Chow.
Aye.
Trustee Lu.
Present. Just kidding. Aye.
Trustee Leon.
Aye. Thanks. Motion passes. All right, next on the agenda is public comments for our closed session. Are there any public comments?
No, there are not.
Okay. All right, well then we're going to adjourn for closed session, returning at 7:45. 7:45. Adjourn. All right, I'm going to call the meeting back to order. Yeah, all right. Okay, I'm going to reconvene our meeting. We just came back from closed session with nothing to report. We're going to actually go back into closed session at the end of our open agenda. So glad to see so many community members with us here tonight. And I believe our first agenda item is the flag salute. Or is there?
It has been
It has been
videotaped.
videotaped. Awesome.
Will be the first slide. We go back. No, it's before that.
Please rise for the pledge. Place your right hand over your heart. Take all hats off. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated.
Great, thank you. All right, our next agenda item is our school presentation, and we are excited to be learning about Kennedy Middle School tonight. I'm going to invite Principal Gwendolyn DeWeese and Assistant Principal Jenny Orvick up and pass the time over to you guys.
Thank you so much, Board, for inviting us here this evening. I'm very pleased to be able to use my teacher voice.
So pleased to be able to share some highlights from Kennedy with you this evening. I am Gwendolyn DeWeese. We've all met before. Hello. This is my wonderful partner, Joni Orvick. Again, Gwendolyn DeWeese, Joni Orvick. We're going to be virtually introducing you to three students today. Turned out to be three young ladies. We're very happy and proud with the work they put in. They had to pivot at the last minute and videotape their presentations. And so we're going to go ahead and show them now. Thank you, Mahmoud.
Kennedy Middle School has a special place in my heart. It's a diverse and welcoming school where you can be yourself and without worrying about what others think. Although it's not perfect, Kennedy is a place where you can experience the ups and downs of middle school. From losing friendships to forming stronger ones. The supportive staff and special bond between everyone makes Kennedy truly unique. It's where I discovered my potential, developed new skills, and matured into an individual. Kennedy Middle School is not just a school, but a place where dreams take flight. When I first arrived at Kennedy, I was concerned about being judged and made fun of. However, now I realize that I was confusing movies with real life. I hope that the next generation of students at Kennedy and other schools have the same positive experience that I did. I believe what I'm experiencing is a true meaning of middle school.
She wanted me to let everyone know that she's wearing a Halloween costume too.
And I just wanted to emphasize the one where she says, like, a place where
We're going to have you stand so our online attendees can hear you as well.
I just wanted to underline where she said, it's a place where dreams take flight. And I just think that's such a lovely sentiment. And she really embodies that. So Thank you.
Kennedy has been one of the largest parts of my life for almost 3 years now. It's not only where I go to learn, but also where I collaborate, communicate, and lead. Kennedy is a wonderful environment for students from all backgrounds and interests to thrive. What I love about Kennedy is the amount of opportunities it has. For example, Kennedy has lots of clubs. These clubs encourage diversity and for students to explore their current and future passions. Just last year, my science teacher nominated me to attend a STEM-based camp for girls at Sonoma State University. It was an unforgettable experience. In leadership, I was selected to be the leader of a group of 8 people, which allowed me to be on student council and manage our budget. This also allowed me to oversee larger events like our school dance. Kennedy has also provided me me and many other 8th graders with a community as web leaders. We are constantly learning new skills and helping the 6th graders feel comfortable during this year. Overall, Kennedy is more than just a middle school to me and many others. It's not just a place where we go to learn, but also a place where we thrive and learn something new every day.
And then just a little context for that. So she's in leadership. And so that was the background that she created for the photo booth for the Halloween day. So she wanted to include that in the video.
I also wanted to say that when I saw in her speech that she said she oversees the budget at Kennedy, I was so relieved.
Helen Keller once said, "Education should train the child to use his brains to make for himself a place in this world and maintain his rights even when it seems that society should shove him into the scrap heap." And that's exactly what Kennedy Middle School offers. Kennedy stands as the foundation for academic excellence, promoting an environment where students are not merely educated, but inspired to reach their fullest potential. I believe Kennedy Middle School is one united community where every day is a new adventure to learn something new that we'll remember for the rest of our lives. We feel safe and included as we are pushed to our best selves to achieve our own excellence. I recall my 6th grade science teacher encouraging the entire class to participate in a science competition with the goal of raising our awareness about climate change. Thanks to her, my partner and I were able to become finalists and won $150 to donate to a nonprofit emergency relief charity. Here at Kennedy, education goes beyond textbooks, and our school is committed to ingraining values of leadership, creativity, and community service. As students, we are not just learners, but responsible, hard-working pupils working together to make an impact on society. We are motivated to build upon the strong foundation laid by the teachers and staff at Kennedy by leading our fellow peers to success through challenges and spreading joy throughout the school campus, while strengthening our own learning and life goals. Thanks to Kennedy, I've achieved this through the littlest of things, like being a role model for my peers by demonstrating a positive attitude, perseverance in the face of challenges, and a commitment to success. I can also encourage teamwork and group work, a skill I've already been implementing since past group projects where I've taken a leadership role. Currently, I am a participant in the Garrett Morgan Sustainable Transportation Competition, which was also recommended by my Makerspace elective teacher. In conclusion, Kennedy Middle School is not just a place of learning. It's a community that values knowledge, character, and the quest for excellence. So just some of the logistics of Kennedy, we have about 910 students currently and 70 staff members. We have 4 kingdoms, and Ms. Orvik is going to talk a little bit more about that. We have lots and lots of wonderful, engaging activities to promote a sense of belonging within the school that are not only fun, but also often rigorously challenging. We have clubs that span everywhere from crocheting to linguistics. So they are really, really wonderful. We have a creative media class that does our morning announcements on a daily basis. And I've really seen, as I've been able to watch those throughout the course of the last couple of months, a big improvement in their quality. They're obviously working together very hard in order to make these much more professional every day.
And it's really a wonderful place to be. And as Jeannie, the last student, emphasized, it's really a place of collaboration where everyone works to reach their full potential. And I would say that's true among the students and the staff as well.
Okay, so just to share a little bit about how we focus on sense of belonging at Kennedy. This is an example of one of the activity pages that goes out at Kennedy each week. You can see that there's lots of different activities that the students can participate in that kind of connect to many different people on campus. So you can see in the top left that there's there's competitions that tie into the students' kingdoms, and those are students of all grade levels are assigned a kingdom as they enter Kennedy, whether that's in 6th, 7th, or 8th grade. And you can earn points and prizes that are tied to your kingdom. We have a spirit day. We have a staff of the week each week. So a staff member is highlighted in our leadership in our activity page, and that teacher also gets an assigned parking spot. So they have a little sign out there in the parking lot, which is fun. And then they have an interview, and students are able to read, and staff are able to read a little bit about that staff member. So that comes out each week. And then you can see that this is put together by leadership. And so they do a really fun job of creating different activities that might meet the interests of different kids. So you can see like the top right, that's one of the leadership students. Her name's Helena. And so there's like faces hidden all around with her, which is just kind of silly. And then they did a splash bash, which you'll see like a water kind of games activity. Just lots of really fun things going on. Each week too, we have an activity center, which they put out lots of different board games, ping pong, and the games change as based on interest for the kids. We try and keep it fun. Okay, so something else, some other things we have at Kennedy is our web program. I know many middle schools have this, but it's a really great way for our incoming students to feel connected to Kennedy. Not only do we host our incoming 6th graders, but we host all new students that come in throughout the year, and they're given tours and made connections with different people that might have similar interests or similar grade levels or similar home languages or whatever that might be. You can also see some of our students are repurposing one of the murals. So they're going back to kind of touch up one of the murals we have on campus. And then one of our dances was a disco themed dance. So you can see a couple kids in the bottom right or bottom left, they dressed up for that dance, which was super fun.
They definitely felt like they were belonging in one thing.
Yes. Just a few other pictures of things we have going on. You can see the splash bash. The kids had a really great time participating in those activities at lunch. Our leadership team does a really great job of planning a variety of activities. Kingdom Pride Day, where all the kids dressed up in the colors that are associated with their kingdoms. We, of course, have after school sports, which you can see pictured down below. And then our student clubs, which are, yes, so you can see a student is actually leading the discussion for the club. It's teacher supervised, but student driven. And so the kids really enjoy choosing a topic that meets their interests.
We have a very engaged staff. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to say who, but one of these staff members will be present at the Superintendent's Award coming up shortly. And since we chose her to put her forward for that award, every time I turn around, she's right there. She's in the middle of everything. And our staff is very engaged with one another and with children. This year, we did start a new tradition. We have, this is Chico the Cougar. And at the first staff meeting, he was actually given to Jake Lennon, who is one of our music teachers. And we actually hold our staff meetings in his classroom. So we thought we would honor him and tell him thanks for loaning us your classroom every once in a while. So he got to start off with Chico. And every staff meeting, Chico is handed off by that staff member to the next staff member. So Chico started with Jake, went from Jake to Hannah's son. And Hannah then handed him off recently to Sharon Larson. And they are Sharon Larson. Yeah, sorry, I got the first names. I'm still working on the last names. And then Sharon will be handing him off at our next staff meeting. And it's another way for staff to kind of acknowledge one another. They do a great job. They've been doing that informally since, way before I was around 3 months ago. But they really want the time and the space to acknowledge how hard and how well we team together. So. I think that's it. Yeah. So any questions? Yes.
So the new ones are coming in. I like hearing, and I know it's different from last year too, the presentations and what you all highlighted. I like seeing, I think what's new is the staff kudos and spotlighting and getting interviewed. Is that new compared to last year with the staff?
You mean the students who presented?
No, the students who interview
the
staff of the week.
I'm
No,
not,
that's
No, that's not new. Okay. Okay.
and the students were originally slated to come and present, but because of the evening got a little bit late, we did choose to go ahead and videotape them.
That's understandable. It's
Yeah.
it's a
Well,
great way of engaging.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming and presenting, and definitely want to shout out to Pranavi and Jeannie and Olivia, because we know that this is the last minute change, and I love that they got to choose their own background. And you could just see how much thought went into it and why it was meaningful to them. And that was really great to see that. So thank you to Principal DeWeese and Assistant Principal Orvik for coming tonight and sharing with us what makes Kennedy special and what you guys are doing to build that sense of belonging. I think student presentations are always, I would say, it's safe to say on behalf of the board, student presentations are our favorite part of any board meeting. And so it's always great to hear what's going on. Thank you for sharing with us tonight what's happening at Kennedy.
Thank you. I do have swag. It was Joni's thought and little swags.
okay. It's very small. Just
You can have enough for the entire crowd. Here. Well, thank you all very much. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you. All right. Okay, we are going to move on to our next item, which is Classified Employee of the Month. And this is where we recognize one of our outstanding classified employees whose contributions have made a big difference in the work, in all the work that we're doing educating students. So, Mike, are you presenting on this?
Yeah. All right, well, thank you. It gives me great pleasure to once again talk about our Classified Employee of the Month program. This is something that's been going on for 31 years. And so given the opportunity to highlight a classified staff member is super fun and very, very unique because of the different jobs that are that are represented and so on. So tonight there's a young man by the name of Cole Borgia, and Cole is a SITS over at Dilworth Elementary and special programs coordinator. So he's a multi-talented guy. I've had opportunities to work closely with him myself when I was principal for a couple of days over there, which was a lot tougher than being a high school principal, let me tell you. And sitting on some interview panels with him. And so he, wherever Cole is, he has a great following of friends that support him. And that's not by accident. So Cole was nominated by the teachers over there. And they said over the past month, Cole has worked extremely hard in getting the Chromebooks ready for 3rd through 5th graders, as well as getting the iPads ready for K through 2. This teacher's worked in the district for 13 years, and this is the first time they didn't have to ask when the Chromebooks would be ready for the students to use. Everything was ready during the first week of school. Anytime anyone has a technology question, Cole can either answer it himself or find out within 48 hours. He often stays late to help teachers in need. It's been a tough start to the school year this year for our site with a completely brand new office team. Cole has gone above and beyond to help everyone out. So congratulations, Cole.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Sarah Kurtzel. I'm the principal at Dilworth. Cole, please come up. If you don't know already, Cole is known on campus as Mr. Borgia, Tech Wizard. And the staff was so happy to hear that he was receiving this award. And when they found out, I asked them to send me some words of praise, and I got so many emails that I was scratching my head thinking about how I could consolidate it down into a little speech. And so I thought, well, he's the tech wizard, so I'm going to engage technology and use AI to have ChatGPT write a poem entitled Mr. Borgia, Tech Wizard. And I'm going to read that poem for you. Remember, this is from the words of your colleagues. In the realm of technology, a wizard does reside. Mr. Borgia, our savior, always by our side. Dilworth's shining star, above and beyond he flies, with dedication that truly takes us by surprise. Swift responses to emails in times of tech despair. He walks to our classrooms with expertise to share. Taming wild computers with a knowing grin. This recognition, Cole, you truly win. For 2 years, you've been our guiding light, with humor and compassion, making everything right. Accommodating hurdles, tech challenges you mend. With patience, you've been a steadfast friend. A fountain of knowledge, professional and kind. To Dilworth's tech needs, you're always inclined. Dashing to our aid with lightning speed, keeping the academic ball rolling. That is your creed. Chromebooks and iPads ready for the young. You work tirelessly getting things done. In past years, we asked, when will it be? But with you at the helm, it's done with glee. As special project coordinator, you also take the lead, coordinating volunteers, fulfilling every need. Disaster planning, a challenge he boldly embraces, going above and beyond in so many different spaces. Any tech question you can answer, it's true, or find the solution within the hour, not a few. Beyond your job you go without hesitation. Mr. Borgia, our tech wizard, a true inspiration. At Dilworth, and we're happy that you humor us and wear silly hats, and the kids love him as well. So
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Congratulations, Cole. I want to invite you to stay up there. And then are there any other folks that wanted to say a few words?
I think you said it all. If I can say a few words,
Yes, then I want to invite you to say a few
let me
words.
pull out my 10-page speech real quick. No, I'm truly privileged to work at Dilworth with our staff, and I mean, our amazing students and the staff who join me here tonight. I mean, as Mike put himself, friends follow me everywhere. I'm truly grateful for the opportunities I've had as an ASITS and as an SPC, and especially working with Mahmood. Thank you, Mahmood, for all the support you give us as site tech specialists in the IT department. And overall, I mean, I just hope that, obviously as a freshly consolidated school, it was tough moving over from our old schools and moving to Dilworth and coming together. But I think so far, we've done a pretty okay job. So I really appreciate this opportunity, the recognition and the honor. So thank you.
I'm going to have you stay standing up there.
It's my first time. I don't know.
So that we can also say congratulations to you and recognize your work. First of all, congratulations, Tech Wizard, for all the work that you've done as a SITS and as a SPC at Dilworth. And it's amazing. I see people in your cheering squad from all different schools, Blue Hills, Mirror, Dilworth, and it just shows the kind of impact that you've had, not just at Dilworth, but across the district and across so many sites. So congratulations. We have a couple different recognitions. Superintendent Yao, do you want to do yours first?
So we are actually very fortunate. We work very closely with our local legislators, and Evan Lowe, Assemblyman Evan Lowe, is a very big supporter and follows Cupertino. And he actually has a certificate of recognition for being identified as a classified employee of the month. And so I'm happy to present this to you on his behalf.
Wow.
And then on behalf of the board, we also have a small token of appreciation for you. And we would love to take a photo with you and invite your cheering squad to join us as well.
You're more than welcome to come join. Sure. Hat or no hat? That's what I thought. Oh, right.
Aaron, you need the next one. Okay. Okay, here we go.
Wizard.
Thank you. Thanks. 2, 3,
Thank you so much.
Congratulations again, Cole, and thanks again to the folks that came out to cheer him on. We are going to move on to our next agenda item, which is employee organizations. Erin, do we have any representatives speaking tonight?
We do. We have CEA President Kate Lee. If you'd like to come to the podium.
Welcome, Kate.
Good evening. I too agree that the student presentations from the schools, and I would include the classified employee of the month, are the two best parts of the school board. No offense. But I actually was visiting Dilworth last week. And as I was coming in, Cole's classroom is almost right across from the office. And his door was open and it just looks so inviting. And he has all these cool things hanging on the door and inside the classroom. I was like, I would love to meet him. I bet he is so wonderful with kids and with the school. And he came and introduced himself to me that day. And he's really wonderful. And I just hear high praises of him. So I'm really glad he was recognized. I'm speaking to you tonight to the board, the executive cabinet, our CEA members, and our CUSD parent community. As I continue to visit all of our school sites, I see the amazing resilience and dedication of our educators, their collaboration and support of each other, both professionally and personally, as well as their support of each other's students. I'm amazed by their commitment to the learning and well-being of every student on their class list or caseload. I hear the stories of how, due to their guidance, patience, and persistence, even when they don't have all they need to teach and support, our CEA members find a way to teach and support all of their students. Our CEA educators are the key to CUSD student success. Yet, they shouldn't have to go so far above and beyond their duty day and a reasonable workload to ensure student success. They need to be provided, and their students need to be provided with the support needed to achieve success for every child in our district. For example, at every site I've visited so far this year, and in emails I get each day from members, the number one concern is the safety of teachers and students in classrooms due to the lack of timely and appropriate actions being taken by administrators in the reporting, documentation, and tracking of student in incidents where a teacher where a student's dysregulated behaviors disrupt learning for other students and injuries occur to teachers and staff. Our CUSD educators can't count on timely actions for their students to receive the interventions they need to succeed at school and in life. Educators can't count on the district to provide them with the supports, trainings, and protections they need to be safe at work, as well as to keep dysregulated students safe and the rest of their students safe. Our CUSD educators can't teach and get through the curriculum for the year. Our students can't learn what they need to learn, and they don't feel safe due to the lack of timely response and resolutions regarding student behaviors. And our students who need those supports to manage their behaviors aren't getting the supports they need when they need them. Even though our educators bring up these concerns to the district, even though I bring up these concerns repeatedly, the response we get leaves us feeling like district administrators and departments don't care. While I know they do care, I do know that you all care. We wonder why they don't take the actions and hire the staffing that's needed to make sure all of our staff and all of our students feel safe, and all of our students can learn and grow academically and socially. So we're continuing to work with the district in this area. I know that we can solve these problems together. And I know that moving forward, we can address these. And we just hope that you listen to our teacher voices. Here is my ongoing list of more ways you can spend that unexpected $21 million carryover from last year that will directly benefit students, teachers, and sites. Hire enough behavior interventionists and CAP supervisors so every site has enough of these specialists for the students and teachers that need their services, even if contracting is needed. CUSD must staff to levels needed based on student behavior population levels. Provide safety cares training for every educator and staff person who works with a student who has dysregulated behaviors that create threats of injury to teachers and their students. Hire contracted professionals to cover leaves of educators who hold specialist positions which can't be covered by a long-term sub. Replace HVAC units instead of requiring them to continue to be repaired over and over to the point where they can't provide the fresh airflow mandated by the state. Provide employees COVID sick leave. Always buy enough textbooks so that every student, even combo classes, both grades, actually get a textbook within the first few days of school starting, and definitely within the state mandated timeframe. We had teachers and students waiting for textbooks 6 to 8 weeks into the school year. And that was particularly true with combo classes. And I know sometimes combo classes are formed last minute. And teachers from one grade level would share and give to the others. But justifying this ed code responsibility by saying the students have online access is really not following the ed code as it should be. So I hope you take into consideration what I brought to you. It's the voices of our teachers. It's the voices of our educators. And they are speaking up for the voices and needs of our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. Okay, now is the time for public comments. And this is This is the time when we open up for comments for items that are not on the agenda. We limit each comment to no more than 3 minutes per person, depending on the number of comments that we have, for a period of length of 20 minutes during the segment. If it goes longer than 20 minutes, then we will actually resume public comments at the end of the agenda. So Erin, do we have any public comments tonight?
We have one.
Online or in person?
Would you like to determine the length of time?
Let's stick with 3 minutes.
Jenny Ginsburg, if you would like to come to the podium, or raise your hand if you're joining us virtually. Jenny Ginsburg. I do not see any hands raised virtually, and I don't see anyone coming to the podium.
Thank you. Board always welcomes comments. If you weren't able to speak tonight, you're always able to email us at board@cusdk8.org. So with that, I'm going to move on to item 8.1, Superintendent's Report, and I'll turn the time over to Superintendent Yao.
Oh, thank you. I wanted to spend just a couple minutes highlighting this last week. We have had our Hinshu city sister city visitors. So students have been here all week attending our middle schools. There's actually a group of 21 students. 11 of them are high school and 10 of them are junior high, middle school age students. And so CMS is the home school. President Leong, Deputy Superintendent Lanier, and Senior Director Erin Lindsay. We were able to do a tour with them and meet with them. Very interesting to share ideas and to learn from each other and give them a chance to actually see in the classroom. So they were able to observe several of the electives and just the facilities. Again, lots of good dialogue. This has been an ongoing partnership. We look forward into the spring, then we'll have students going over to visit and just ongoing. And so I just think it's a great opportunity. And I think we're so fortunate in our area to be able to provide this, because I think I shared on that day, our students learn probably just as much as adults, that we continue to learn with each other. So they are here for the remainder of the week. I know that we will have some other opportunities coming up, some other delegates coming in from New Taipei City over the course of the year. And so again, we just look forward to getting a chance to highlight the great work at our schools and introducing our students to know that global interaction. So just wanted to share that piece with you. And then the other I wanted to highlight is, I know that we'll be bringing forward in the future board meeting, just the work from our health and welfare committee. And I know that our unions were all working to ratify the agreement. We'll bring that back to the board, but wanting to highlight what has happened over the course of these last couple of weeks is that with the rising cost in the healthcare, is that we are shifting providers. So we do remain with Kaiser, but we're actually adding Sutter and United Health Services, and we will no longer be with Blue Anthem. So there's a lot of that training, education going on, because everything seems to happen very fast, and we're under timelines because these new healthcare providers go in place for January 1st. So we're excited that we are able to offer now our employees 100% healthcare coverage, and also excited that some of this new coverage has opened some additional doors and some additional savings. So just a huge, huge thank you to our Health and Welfare Committee for all the work that they've done over these last weeks. So that's it.
Thank you. All right, next we are going to have our public hearing for the proposed renewable energy projects agreement between CUSD and NG Services. So I'm going to now open up our public hearing. And do we have a presentation?
We do not.
Okay. Do we have any questions or comments from the board? Do we have any public comments?
We do. We have 3.
Okay.
The first public comment is Purva Martafia. You would like to come to the podium or raise your hand? Purva, you should be allowed to speak now if you'd like to unmute yourself and go ahead.
Hello, can everyone hear me all right?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. Hello, trustees. My name is Purva Marfatia. I'm a current high school student at Cupertino High School, and I graduated from CUSD middle and elementary schools. I'm here today to speak in support of the implementation of solar panels throughout CUSD that I believe has been brought up at the prior board meeting and earlier. Our high schools and FUHSD have already transitioned to solar panels and other clean sources of energy, and we believe it's time CUSD made this incredibly important shift. By doing so, we could save quite a bit of money as well, as according to the Mercury News, FUHSD has already seen savings of around $1 million annually purely due to energy savings. And seeing as CUSD is one of the larger districts, we can expect the number to also be larger there. So considering the huge benefits in setting an example for our children, doing our part to mitigate climate change, and even integrating it into our curriculums, as again has been mentioned in previous board meetings, I believe that choosing to move forward with solar panels is the best course of action for for CUSD. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Purva.
The next speaker is Sarah Liu. If you could come to the podium, or if you're joining virtually, raise your hand. Go ahead, Sarah. You should be able to unmute yourself and speak.
Okay, hello, board trustees. Good evening. My name is Sarah Liu. I'm a senior at Monte Vista, and I'm here today on behalf of the Cupertino Youth Climate Action Team. I just wanted to hop on really quickly today to speak in support of the solar panel project agreement. I think it's just, especially as students, it's really, really inspiring for us to, see schools taking action against climate change. And I think I can speak on behalf of our team when I say, we encourage the board to continue implementing similar sustainability initiatives. So again, just wanted to speak in support of the implementation of solar panels across the schools. And yeah, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Sarah.
Our final speaker is Shinpei Liu.
Okay, this mic is working, right? Okay. Right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Shinpei Liu, also here on behalf of Cupertino Youth Climate Action Team, and I'm currently a high school student attending Cupertino High School. So I'm here today to discuss about and express my views on proposed renewable energy project between CUSD and NG Services. And I believe it's finally time for CUSD to implement solar. Not only is crucial step in doing our part against the climate crisis, it's also a practical shift. With ever more and more push towards renewables and supportive environment to do so, transitioning will also save district money that could be used to fund other important projects such as interdisciplinary climate curriculum and the climate adaptation measures that CUSD schools need to survive the upcoming climate crisis. It's great that this will serve as a crucial step towards achieving those goals. If there's one concern, I have to say it's the lack of interdisciplinary learning and enrichment opportunities for STEM outside of STEM, because I noticed that in presentation prior, it heavily focused on enrichment for STEM, but not, subjects outside of it. While STEM is obviously undoubtedly important for a future of the world, so is literature, art, music, speech, etc. Climate change affects everyone in every field, interest, career, etc. So it makes sense that everyone in turn must also do their part as a part of a holistic solution to combat it and solve it. Yes, we need people to know how to build these panels, but we also need people to teach our children to imagine how they can integrate these solutions, these ideas. Imagine a world where a world unburdened by these issues can exist. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Shinpei. All right.
That was our final
That
speaker.
was the final speaker. Thank you. I will now call this hearing to a close. All right. We are going to move on now to the consent calendar. These are items concerning routine school operations or items we've already reviewed and discussed. So can I get a motion?
I move to approve items 10.1 through 10.11.
Thank you, Jerry. And a second.
I second it.
Thank you, Satish. Any public comments?
No.
We do a roll call vote?
Yes. Trustee Madhato?
Aye.
Trustee Chow?
Aye.
Trustee Liu?
Aye.
Trustee Leon?
Aye. Great. Thank you. Motion passes. And with that, we're going to move on to our information presentation. First item is 11.1, the Citizens Parcel Tax Oversight Committee report to the board. And Chris, are you presenting?
Yes. Good evening. This is an annual item that we bring to the board every year. It's a requirement that we present to the board and show the work of the Parcel Tax Committee. Tonight, we're going to have one of our members tonight present to the board the work of the committee. And also at this time, I wanted to say thank you again to the community for supporting Measure A. It's been 9 years since Measure A first passed, and as we've been having discussions, the measure is now sunsetting, and so this is our actual last opportunity to review the work of the parcel tax and to again thank the community for supporting it. So I'd like to introduce Priya Shatiri. She will speak to you tonight and share with you a little bit about the work that the committee has done this year. So Priya?
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome, Priya.
Thank you. So me, along with 7 other members, looked at this report that is being mailed out to all the residents of Cupertino Union School District. And the changes that we looked at were comparing the budget reports between 23-24 to 22-23. And what changed in that, we saw that this year the tax returns were much higher. So we did a good job in getting all our boxes checked while filing taxes. The graph, if you flip to the other side, there is a graph that shows 6 different categories of the distribution of the funds from the parcel tax. We looked at in detail for each of those categories and made sure that the numbers are justified. We asked for additional reports if needed for the custodians' numbers and the FTEs that are being reported in the budget. The committee members did a wonderful job on fixing the pie chart over there, which had a small wedge which wasn't named. So we made sure that the percentages were shown correctly, appropriately. We also fixed the text on the citizens Measure A Parcel Tax Oversight Committee report. The text was in the present tense. We changed it to the past tense. But overall, it was a pleasure working with Chris and Kavita, who led us through the whole process. And being on this committee for 2 years, I know it takes a lot of work to get all the numbers right. Thank you.
Thank you, Priya. Do we have any questions from the board? Do we have any public comments?
No, we do not.
Okay. Well, thank you again to the Parcel Tax Oversight Committee, to all of the members. It is, as you said, a lot of work. It's a lot of behind the scenes work that doesn't often get noticed or recognized, but it's so important. So thank you. And thank you too, as Chris mentioned, to all of the voters and to the community for supporting this. All right. We're going to move on to our action items. First one is 12.1, approval of the district's reopener proposal to CSEA for the CUSD CSEA contract agreement.
Since it's an action item, you want to make a
Yes,
motion.
you're right.
We need to move it?
Yep.
I'll go ahead and move.
Thank you, Ava. And a second.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Satish.
All right, thank you. If you recall, last meeting, I brought forth our sunshine proposal for you to look at for information with CSEA. And now CSEA has their proposal presented. So we're bringing them both back for you to vote on, so we can get moving on this next week. We start on Wednesday. So with your blessing, we can get moving.
Thank you. Do we have any questions from the board? Do we have any public comments?
No, we do not.
All right, let's do a roll call vote.
Trustee Manhattan?
Aye.
Trustee Chow?
Aye.
Trustee Lu?
Aye.
Trustee Leon?
Aye. Thank you. Motion passes. All right, next one is 12.2, approval of resolution 23-24-15 and resolution 23-24-16 to enter into agreement with NG and certify CEQA category exemption for the project. So this is also an action item, so we need a motion on the table.
So moved.
Thank you, Jerry, and a second.
Second.
Thank you, Ava. And Chris, are you presenting on this?
I just want to say a few words. Thank you again for entertaining this item tonight. I want to thank our staff. I especially want to thank the students that were speaking up in support of it as well tonight. And also, so thank you to the NG team. They're here in attendance as well. I can't say anything more than what our students had said. I think the takeaways from moving down this road is that we are continuing that path down this sustainability project. I've listed a couple of things I think just worth noting is that we're moving in that direction where we're going to be relying more on clean energy, clean renewable energy for 25 of our school sites. And that's also including our corporation yard and our future DO home at Meyer Homes. As the students mentioned, we're going to be creating general fund savings once our lease is paid off. So that is one of the final outcomes from all of this that will provide additional resources to the district. And then we are fortunate enough to take advantage of the federal tax credit because of the Inflation Reduction Act, which enabled us to leverage this project to generate almost a little bit more than $8 million of additional funding toward the project. And I think we all know that there are other benefits to providing shade for both staff, students over our playgrounds, as well as our parking lots. One of the other benefits that we have had some discussions about is providing electrical vehicle charging opportunities for all of our campuses. And I'll just end it with just to be able to partner with NG to provide STEM curriculum and other professional development opportunities for our staff. I know Allison and her team are going to be taking that part of the project on from this point on. And then really, I just want to end with, again, tonight we're asking the board to approve the resolutions to move forward with the project. And as I mentioned in our last meeting, the financing piece will be coming to the board for a recommendation to approve at our next meeting on the 16th. That is an agreement, which is the tax exempt lease with Bank of America to fund the project. And so that will be coming to our board at our next meeting. I'll turn it back over to the board if you have any other questions.
Questions or comments?
Yeah, I have a question and a comment.
Sure.
Question is that the financing part, the 4.8%, it's been finalized, or it's still being negotiated, or the lender?
I think the final number is like 4.81.
Okay.
Yes, it's locked in.
Thank you. And I wanted to thank actually NG team. That's my comment. Actually, we had I think this is kind of one of the, probably a lot of discussion we had and a lot of clarifications you guys gave, and it's amazing. And that was very important for us to make the decision. It's been going on, I think probably a few months we discussed about this and multiple meetings, and thanks for your patience and staff for that.
Other comments?
Also, just really want to express my support for this project. Thank you, Chris, your staff, and NG. I know this has been a long time coming. We're very excited to see the solar cells and just I think all the benefits it brings, just both in terms of sustainability, but then also impact to savings and all that. I think one of the students talked about sort of the diversity of sort of the opportunities to work this sustainability and climate action topics into the curriculum. I would love, at some point, maybe get an update either at a Friday update or a board meeting just to kind of see what that shapes up to be. Really excited to see that also. Thank you.
I want to give thanks to NG working with our site leaders, the principals, because they are at the sites and knowing the flow and the details of the campuses. I have a question, and I'm not sure if it's like a logistical question, Chris, that you might be able to answer. Yes, I agree with you that these solar panels are awesome. It not only provides us clean energy, but it provides shade. If you look at some of the plans, we are replacing trees like at certain sites with solar panels. I don't know where that is in the plan, or if it's possible to have those trees replanted elsewhere, because these trees may be from 10 to 20 years of growth. And I'm not sure like if there's a way to do it that maintains that growth that could be placed elsewhere in at least one of our sites or somewhere around the city. I don't know what the cost would be for that, but keeping in mind, because we're replacing solar panel shade structure with natural tree structures that were there from previously before.
Thank you for the question. And it was something that was discussed quite often as we went to the sites and looked at the sites and the challenges. And every time our response is that if we take down a tree, we will replant something in its place. Location in terms of placement, that's yet to be determined, but I think we all felt the need to replace something that we had to more or less remove because of the solar being put up.
Is it possible to have them saved in some sort or
I
relocated?
don't know whether or not the current tree can be retransplanted elsewhere. We're probably looking at just replacing with a new tree.
Okay. Yeah, otherwise I support this effort. It's a step in the right direction.
And I'll just say that I'm very excited about this project. I do think it's been a long time coming, and I'm excited not just about the energy savings and the sustainability fact, but the shade structures are a big deal. I think that's something that we've seen over the years is as climate change has been happening and the weather's been changing, those shade structures. I love that there's a dual purpose that we're doing this. And then I'm really excited about the educational component. I love that our students are going to get to see and observe the construction, that they're going to get to do projects and measure energy savings and all these other educational things that they're going to get to do. I think that's such an exciting opportunity for them. So I'm excited about that. I hope that, when we do launch it, that there can be maybe a bigger announcement than like our 3-point Thursday. Certainly it can go in there, but I'd love for there to be some sort of celebration or some sort of big announcement about it, because I think the community should know what's going on and celebrate it with us. So.
I have one question.
Yeah.
So when would we know that a kind of a detailed schedule on this? Like, some point of time, would you be able to tell us, if, let's assume this get approved, then what is the next thing, kind of like, the first day to the implementation timeline and things like that?
There'll be a construction schedule at some point. We're still kind of in the works of developing all that. That'd be probably some information we can bring back to the board and provide on a Friday update.
Yeah, or sometime probably, if you have something good for us to get a presentation itself, some point of time on the schedule part, it'll be great actually, publicly.
I mean, just to piggyback onto what Sylvia was saying, I think at the end of the day, we certainly could have a nice little ceremony, a ground, what's it, they call groundbreaking? Groundbreaking or
somewhere in between.
some sort of a, launch or, groundbreaking ceremony, and then invite the community, sure.
Eva, did you have one more?
Yeah, I just want to ask, because it's not settling well with me, but about the trees again. If we have done some work to see how much it would cost, that was something that I brought up previously in our board advance. Because I've seen big trees, like the trees that are existing now on our campuses, being relocated before. So like, we don't have to buy smaller trees and replant them. I mean, relocating that they're already big enough to have us look into that, because some of the sites are getting rid of like 11 trees, which is a lot, and if that area has to be redone anyways, I'd like us to have some sort of report back, like what is the cost into doing that? What is that feasibility? Maybe in some sort of FIDO memo or a report by superintendent. Yeah.
We can bring some information back and share it probably through our Friday memo.
Okay. Do we have any public comments for this action item?
No, we do not.
All right, then let's do a roll call vote.
Trustee Manhattan.
Aye.
Trustee Chow.
Aye.
Trustee Lu.
Aye.
Trustee Leon.
Aye, thank you. Motion passes. All right, our next action item is 12.3, approval of appointment to the Measure H Citizens Bond Oversight Committee.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, thank you. And Chris, are you presenting?
Just really brief. Tonight we're recommending the board to appoint Roberta Holloman. I think we all know who Roberta Holloman is. We had honored her as she came off of one of our other committees. She was on our parcel tax committee representing the local businesses. As we all know, our Measure H bond program has come to an end, and we also still have the last requirements to report to the community the work of the bond program. And so in order for us to do our due duty to have the individuals on the committee, we were very fortunate enough to ask Roberta if she could serve for the remaining part of this short term to fill the role of a member representing the business community. And she was very enthusiastic to help and volunteer. So I'm so thankful for her to volunteer one more time. So tonight we would like to ask the board to appoint Roberta to the committee to finish up the work of our Measure H bond program.
Great, thank you. Any questions or comments, discussion?
I think it's great and I appreciate Roberta spending her time with us and providing her expertise and being community member and volunteering. So thank you. And thank you, Chris, for organizing this.
I will also say Roberta's amazing. We got to recognize her, I think, at one of our first meetings of the school year. And at that point, she told me that she was on the very first oversight committee back in the 1970s, and has been just a faithful community member and supporter. And so really appreciate that she's going to continue serving and helping our district. So do we have any public comments?
No, we do not.
All right, let's do a roll call vote.
Trustee Manhattan.
Aye.
Trustee Chow.
Aye.
Trustee Lu.
Aye.
Trustee Leon.
Aye. All right, motion passes. And next is board activity. This is a chance for board members to share and receive information regarding committee meetings or events that they have attended. So who would like to start?
Okay, I can do one. Myself and Wellness, she's not here. We were part of the wellness committee. This week we had our first kickoff. It was well attended, and I presume we have enough members from the diverse community, staff, different background and everything. So it was a good start thing, and we are going to review the policies and stuff like that. And next meeting is December 5th. That's probably will be more interesting. And it was an active participation. So I'll highlight that.
I can go next. I think going back since last meeting, went to De Vargas for their trunk and treat. It was their first trunk and treat since the pandemic. So it was a huge deal. They had, I'm thinking in my head, maybe like 15 to 20 parents with their cars and 2 food trucks, and they had a cakewalk. It was great turnout. And then earlier this week, we had lunch with the Hsinchu City delegation. And just last night, Sylvia and I went to the Saratoga City. It was a meeting with all of the schools in the area that is in the city of Saratoga, and there's quite a few. So that was good, and you can talk more about that.
Yeah, I wasn't able to make the Hsinchu. I had a work thing that come up, unfortunately, but I'll join them at the farewell dinner tomorrow night. So I had met some of them when I was over at Hsinchu back in April. So I look forward to seeing them and connecting again. So that's it. Thanks.
I think, Sherry, I think 2 by 2 Cupertino probably can talk. We had.
Oh, gosh, that was a meeting ago. Yeah, I think we did report on, we had a 2x2.
2x2.
Sort of the 2x2 with Cupertino. So it was council member J.R. Fruin who attended. It was sort of just kind of kicking that off after, I think we had sort of, had sort of died down after COVID. So we can started that back up again. Yeah, so it was a good discussion. We're planning to do this, I think, 2 or 3 more times this year. And so let's see, what topics did we talk about, Satish?
I think we had good thing is like a superintendent, she mentioned about from update from our district, what's it, and the same way from city side also we got city manager was there, so she gave us an update, and I think a couple of things were we were talking about how we can partner, how our partnership can be, then especially on the traffic side and stuff like that, which we talked, and few questions, but no public comments or anything, but I think probably we'll have a better agenda setting next time, and we had only one council member. Actually, it was supposed to be 2x2, and we were 2, but they were only 1. So they would come back with one more council member, I guess. So, so it was a good meeting because many of them were new. Actually, we 3 were attending earlier, but on the other side, it was pretty much new, including the city manager. So it was a good exchange of things, and we are looking forward to some good partnership actually because they understand that where we come from. Yeah.
I didn't want to forget, on Halloween Day, was able to go check out Lawson. And it was all Barbie and Ken for the whole staff. So it was really exciting. And the spirit and the students were, I would say 75% of students dressed up for Halloween, and they had a great time interacting with us and everything. So that was good.
Yeah, and Halloween is not over yet. You and I visited Eton. Good, thanks. So it was a boo back. So very, kids were so excited, and it was good actually. Yeah.
Thank you. I know, I feel like we've done a lot because I think at the last board meeting, which was in advance, we didn't do board activity. So I think there's been quite a bit of things that we've all been busy with. For me, a couple different things. Was able to attend the CSBA Roadshow last week up in San Mateo, and got to hear from CSBA leaders about what's happening statewide with some of the initiatives going on. I think I gave you guys all folders last week so you could see some of the presentation materials. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Santa Clara County Teacher of the Year celebration. I didn't get a chance to attend myself, but we're very proud of Tanya Kamau from Miller Middle School, who was our Teacher of the Year for our district, and she got to be honored in front of the whole county. So that was really, really exciting for her and for us. And then I was also able to attend Lynbrook High School had their dedication service for their science center for Roy Rockland, who we all know, a friend and colleague from the high school district who passed away earlier this year. And it was a really great, just meaningful celebration and recognition for him. So it was just, and Lynbrook is personal to me because that's where my kids go. And so it's just, it was really nice to see the whole community come out for him, and his wife and his family all came out there and were able to cut the ribbon. So, and then I will also be at the awards ceremony tomorrow night with Jerry. So I'm looking forward to that.
Now that you mentioned that we didn't have board report from the board advance, we did have a 2x2 with the city of Los Altos, and we mainly focused on the Homestead corridor. And the conclusion of it, there are certain parts that we need to work with the city of Cupertino, and we had public comments from people who were on the bike commission in Sunnyvale, and those who are parents who are active within the Homestead community and Walk by Cupertino, and these are nonprofit organizations which provides their expertise. So moving forward, we're hoping to hear back from VTA, who had the last handoff before the pandemic, and our also other action items to invite Supervisor Samidian, because the supervisors has the part of the foothill part of the Homestead corridor in terms of student safety and so I know that the safety of our kids are really important, especially at the schools at Homestead and Cupertino Middle, since we do have quite a bit of our students either walking or biking to school.
Who are the delegates from those Altos?
From Los Altos, Nasa Filgor and it was Ing, Miss Ing.
Oh,
Lynette Ing,
Oh,
yeah.
So Nisa and Lynette. Okay, thanks.
Oh, and the other person from us is Phyllis, but she's not here right now.
All right. Thank you. Okay, last on the agenda tonight is agenda setting. So does anyone have any agenda items that they want to add or call to review? Okay, then with that, I'm going to adjourn us back to closed session. We will have another open meeting next in 2 weeks. And thanks to everyone who attended today.